How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Mesmerizing? Yeah, a little bit. It's not quite, not quite like a fish tank, but it's kind of quite nice. How we doing? It is Monday, and we are back in New World. Yes, we are. Now, weird things, weird schedule at the moment. Weird schedule for the fact that I know on a Monday we usually do the Wowhead economy blog report thingy. Now, I might have already done it. I might have been proactive. There is a problem with New World. First problem is I'm absolutely addicted to the damn game. Second problem is that if I don't log on before 10 o'clock in the morning, I sit in a 4-hour queue. So we kind of need to log on nice and early. Now, because of that, my plan and my schedule would normally have been we'll do a little bit of World of Warcraft in the morning, get our auctions listed, do the Wowhead economy blog, that sort of thing. Then, later in the day, later in the stream, log into New World and have a bit of a play about. But I can't do that because these stupid servers. The only way I can actually log into the damn game is if I log in really, really early and then do my utmost to make sure I don't get logged out again. Yesterday, I know yesterday was Sunday, yesterday was my day off. I like to try, I say try, it doesn't always usually happen, to actually, not think about content creation and not even play any video games. But I was like, right, I'm going to log into New World. I logged in, like 1500 queue. I was like, alright, cool. That gives me a chance to do some stuff. About 3 hours later, the queue was getting to about 200, 250, and then the game crashed. I logged out, logged back in again, and it put me back in a 2000 queue. I was like, well, fuck this game. So I didn't even log on to New World yesterday, so I'm itching to do some playing today. Actually itching. The Wowhead economy blog, though, is recorded and is uploading as we speak. I should actually check that. No, my internet's fine. It is uploading as we speak, so that will still be out later, so we can catch up on that on the YouTubes today rather than me doing it live on stream. But I need to be playing this game. I'm having so much fun in this game when it lets me in. That's the problem, and I don't know how they're going to fix this long term. That the big problem is that it just doesn't let you get into the game. I feel that the server limit of like 2,000 is just way too small for an MMO, especially an MMO that is become popular and everybody wants to play it. 2,000 people is enough to mean that people have to either sit in really long queues, or why can't I skin this damn thing? Or they have to go play on a dead server just to play the game. And that feels weird, right? Because 2,000 is not that big of a number for an MMO. Having 2,000 people on a server sounds like plenty. But what happens when the hype dies down a little bit? That 2,000 could very, very quickly turn into 1,000. And if there's only 1,000 people, is the server going to feel really dead? I don't quite know how the numbers are going to balance out, but we'll see. No comments. Yeah, that probably means we won't be reading the comments on the Wowhead blog today, unfortunately. But I doubt there's that many anyway. What's this New World all about then? Wow, is there a TLDR for this? It's a combination of a mining / logging simulator. If you enjoy cutting down trees, you're going to love it. But the main attraction to me of this is the trade skills. There's a huge trade skill system in this game. You have the ability, you don't have to pick and choose. Genuinely don't have to pick and choose. You can do everything. You can literally level up everything. Now, I've not started on the crafting side of things yet, for one very good reason, that it's expensive. The crafting ones are really expensive and they require a lot of materials. So I'm leveling up my gathering first. I'm actually farming. Yes, believe it or not, I'm actually farming. I'm leveling up my gathering skills because there's also an interesting system in this. Whereas if you also get your refining up after, you take your gathered skills and then you refine them into something. The higher your refining skills are, the greater the chance there is of there being bonus procs when you craft things as well. So it all links in quite nicely. So get gathering done first, then we can run around the map and do some actual character leveling without having to ever run past something that we can't pick up. Get gathering sorted. That will in turn mean that our refining will level up nicely, meaning that we can then craft loads of materials to start picking and choosing some crafting. I think it feels to me like it'd be quite sensible for me to just pick one of these and maybe not cooking or furnishing, but just pick one of the main 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, pick one of the main 5 and we'll just go ham on the first one. I'm kind of thinking maybe jewel crafting. I kind of think that jewel crafting might be quite a good one. It syncs nice with mining. It synchronizes nice with smelting and stone cutting. These are things that we've already started to work on nicely. Additionally, it might then lead us nicely into armoring and weaponsmithing at a later date, we'll say. Does it allow mods? At the moment, no. Everything is sort of vanilla-ish, if you like. No mod support at the moment, which I genuinely think is nothing more than a bonus, though. As time goes on, I'm more and more wondering whether the outrageous support for mods in World of Warcraft is a blessing or a curse. Now, many games that support mods, right? The mods are allowed to work in a way that they add an extra layer of complexity often to the game. Whereas in World of Warcraft's case, it's the other way round. The mods in the game basically are built to reduce the complexity that's there in the first place. So mods in WoW are actually taking away from the development of the game in the first place. If you think about it from the point of view of boss mechanics, right? Blizzard devs are creating new bosses and they're spending time, effort, and development, to make bosses with certain boss mechanics. Only then for somebody to install weak auras and have a massive flashing thing on your screen telling you to just avoid that thing. Which, when you look at it that way, the mods are actually detracting from the game itself. Sure, it makes the game easier, but if the mods weren't there to begin with, would they needed to have made the game so difficult in the first place? I don't know. And then would they feel the need to have to make easier modes for those that are not using all the I don't know. It just feels like mods are taking away from the game in a fashion, but every single game that doesn't support mods becomes a pain to play because the things that everybody knows are an issue that then can't be fixed. Well, then the emphasis is on the developer to actually fix them. So it depends, right? If it's an issue to everybody, then maybe it's an issue that needs to actually be fixed from a development level. I don't know. They're going to merge servers so that they have 2,000 people on it. See, this is what concerns me. Server mergers are cool, right? It makes sense to merge servers. But the way that this game is set up is designed so that very early on, it's deliberately trying to build a sense of community. You have 3 factions, right? We'll just do the colours because I can never remember their damn names. But yellow, green, and purple. How is server merging going to work? Because you're going to end up you'll have now, for example, you can see that the greens are probably the dominant faction on this server. But then what happens when server mergers come in and a new company of players joins that are maybe purple and they're super organized and they just dumpster over everybody again. I'm not sure how I feel that the server mergers will work, but weak auras wouldn't be necessary if the mechanics were telegraphed properly. In other games, I always get frustrated that there was no way I could tell when the mechanic was going to happen, and weak auras created a fix for that. Yeah, but that's creating a fix for a problem that, like I said, that's arguably a problem that should be fixed at a development level. It shouldn't necessarily... It should be something that an add-on comes along to offer a quick fix for, but then it's ultimately fixed by the developer and it makes the add-on surplus to requirement. Is how I imagine it to be. Add-ons are meant to be those quick fixes for things that are annoying the player base. Name 3 MMOs that don't have that issue. Well, I don't need to name 3 MMOs because we're speaking kind of hypothetically here. But the point is such is that if it was properly telegraphed, then you know that then you don't need that add-on. I understand add-ons having their place, and I definitely see the benefit of them. Oh, where are you going? And why are you on my ass? What's going on here? Not quite sure where he came from all of a sudden. But either way, to tie it all back, no, New World doesn't have add-on support currently. And in a way, I kind of hope that it stays that way. I know for a fact that this game will not last indefinitely like World of Warcraft. I think this is also a problem that the WoW devs are... They have an issue, right? That people feel as if they pay for a subscription to World of Warcraft, and because they pay for a subscription to World of Warcraft, there should always be something for them to do. That they want to do, I should say. So it's kind of something it's a mentality that's been fostered by Blizzard in the first place. Of that, this is an MMO, we want you to only play this MMO. This isn't the case with New World. I can already tell that the leveling of your character, the leveling of your trade skills, is going to be really fun the first time you do it. But there is actually zero incentive for you to ever do it again. Alts won't be a thing in this. The only reason you'll probably have an alt in this is because you are limited to the amount of like coin you can carry on one character. So you might find somebody rolls an alt just for the sake of having an alt. But there's no real advantage to having an alt. So I think the longevity of this game is not great. But I don't mind that, right? It was $40 for me to buy the game. There's no subscription to it. Yeah, there's a microtransaction store like there is in everything. But at least at the moment, it's only cosmetic stuff that you can entirely choose to ignore. There's nothing game-breaking in there. I state yet, because I expect that to change. But if I can get 200 hours of fun, enjoyable gameplay out of this, it's well worth it for me. Well worth it. Oh, haha. We actually dinged just by logging. Should be fixed by the developer, but they just won't be. And if the community has the option to create a fix, it will make the game more fun. Like I said, I don't disagree with the nature of add-ons, and I don't disagree with them being a thing. I just don't think they... In WoW, it feels like they've just got out of hand. Like, the add-ons have got out of hand. The add-ons were... Like, the game is created with the add-ons in mind. What actually should be happening is that the add-ons turn up for a while to fix a problem that hasn't been fixed yet, and then the developers fix it, and the add-on is then no longer needed. There shouldn't be a situation where the game developers know that so many people use weak auras that they have to make the game and they have to design the game with the add-ons in mind. I mean, the big one, Trade Skill Master. Without question, if you use Trade Skill Master, you have a much easier time making gold, because most of your making gold, it has something to do with the auction house. If you use Trade Skill Master, you have exponentially more chance of making gold than somebody that's not using Trade Skill Master. Cancel Scan meta would not exist if we didn't have Trade Skill Master. Think about it that way. Oh, I'm now encumbered again. The Cancel Scan meta only exists because Trade Skill Master exists. Arguably, yeah, if Trade Skill Master didn't exist, there'd be another add-on that would do something similar. But do you not think that the economy in WoW would be completely different if Trade Skill Master wasn't allowed to be as powerful as it is? They've gotten out of hand, but without TSM or other add-ons, I wouldn't be playing the game because it wouldn't be fun. Yeah, but you phrase that as if... You phrase that in a way as such that that's a negative. If the game's not fun, don't play it. And if without the add-ons the game isn't fun, then don't play it. Either play with the add-ons or don't. But my point there returns to the fact that New World is very fun without add-ons. So I'm more than happy to... Hang on, what's going on here? Oh, there was no UI for that login for some reason. But with add-ons it is fun. Yeah, in that scenario, then there's no problem. I know there's a lot of devil's advocate being played here, but... New World, I think, is pretty fun without... And I don't feel as if there's any need for add-ons either. I know full well that at the moment, add-ons would do nothing more for this game than make certain aspects of it easier. But it's not overly complicated a game in the first place. So, I'm glad that there's no add-ons. Maybe they'll add them in the future, sure. Changing the UI, for example, might not be the worst thing. As long as, like I said, as long as they don't give players an outrageous advantage. Right, we have quite a bit of tree chopping to do today. I really want to get to 100 if I can. We are 92, which means we're not more than probably half an hour away from hitting 100. It's at logging 100 we get to chop down the next stage of tree. Which is why we're sort of focusing on it pretty heavily. For reference, those that were watching on... When did we do it? Saturday? I was thinking that maybe there's like some diminishing returns on the experience gains, dependent on what level your character is. But even after a bit of testing, I've not really been able to put much proof to that theory. So I'm going to have to put it to bed. What I can say, though, for sure, is that the amount of experience that's needed by the time you've... as you level this up is going to get ridiculous. Because it takes me roughly, I want to say 3 to 5 minutes per level currently. But we're less than halfway. Less than halfway of actual levels. And like most leveling systems, the fact that you need more experience the higher the level that you get, it generally tends to be... such that you have to get like 80% of the way before you're actually even halfway. Take the mission table in WoW, for example. Your followers actually need to hit level 49 before they're even halfway. If you were to take the total experience needed to level. And I imagine it to be the same here. So I tell you what, the last few levels, the last 50 or so levels of this are just going to be ridiculous. It will get to a point where the most optimal way to do it, instead of just chopping down everything, is to just hunt down the super rare, hopefully massive XP giving things. But 100 is our target first. This is quite a good place though, because there's lots of mature trees to chop down. Mature trees don't give any more experience than the young trees, but what they do mean is that you're spending more time actually chopping and less time running between trees. And of course, the materials that you get from them are better. So, can you get a better axe? Yeah, the crafting system and the armor system is quite heavily based on perks. So if we look at the axe real quick, you can see here that yeah, you have gear score, great. You also have gathering speed, and you also have perks that are on it. So at the moment, I'm using a steel logging axe. I have to be character level 40 before I can use a better quality steel axe. Better quality axe, sorry, made of a higher metal. But you can see there are a couple of perks, logging yield and durability on this one. There are a bunch of different perks you can get. So for example, we've got logging yield, 14% more resources. My miner's pick though has 5.7% more mining experience. So there are, and obviously as you get better tools, your gathering speed increases. In theory, if I was to hunt down a very high gear score steel mining axe, I think that gathering speed could go up to like 300 plus at this level. But obviously, either you got to craft one yourself or you got to buy one from somebody else, and that's expensive. So. This is certainly not the best I can get, but it was reasonably priced, so I was happy to buy this one. The trading and marketplace system, it's a buy and sell order system primarily. Which is proving so far to be pretty cool. You can only have a maximum of 100 buy or sell orders active at any one time. So there is a limit to how much you can do with it. But of course, that's without a trade skill master, right? Actually creating those buy order and sell orders is probably quite time consuming. But the buy order and sell order system, the duration on it is much longer. You can create a buy order or a sell order for up to 28 days. So the sensible thing to probably do, depends on how the economy plays out, but I'm probably going to end up having 5 to 10 buy orders up most of the time for the materials that I want in quantity, and just leave them there, kind of thing. And if people fulfill them, they fulfill them. If they don't, they don't, kind of thing. And I can tweak and tune the buy orders based on how many things I'm getting. Then hopefully leaving 80, 90 sell orders for stuff that I craft is the end goal. But there's no one global auction house or trading post, as they're called in this. Each city has its own one. So what's quite interesting is that you can just do, you can buy something from one city, take it to another city, and sell it for a profit. There's lots of little opportunities for doing little flips, and it's quite cool. Jenkins, how we doing? Welcome in. We are back to tree chopping this morning. We're 93. We are getting there. I think it's taking me close to 5 minutes a level at the moment. But I'm actually sacrificing the materials that I get from this. I'm not normal. The way I was leveling for a long time was every time my bags filled up, I would just go back to town and do something with the materials. But the amount of time I was spending traveling from forwards and backwards from town was more than what I was spending actually gathering. So for the purpose of actually zerging our gathering right now, I'm just dumping most of the materials I pick up. But how in the world does this world still have trees? Yeah, because I'm not the only one that's hacking them all down. You can see there's some serious deforestation going on. I need to find a good place to finish our mining at some point as well, though. So yeah, 100's going to be 100 skill level is going to be our goal for the moment. Is that one of the... That's one of the does, isn't it? Would have been pretty cool if there was a finite amount that could be done on the server weekly. How do you mean? That sounds a lot like time gating. Coming from World of Warcraft, I'm happy to see the back of time gating. And there is an element of it already in terms of that you can, you know, you get daily bonuses for your mission, like the first 3 missions you do, for example. Oh, essentially the trees take a week to regrow. Yeah, maybe. I think the downside of that would be is that the entire zone would just be completely deforested. Like the world would look odd because there'd be no resources anywhere ever. And for reference, the I saw somebody do some maths on this to try and work out just how many trees you need to chop down to maximize your logging skill, and it's an absurd number, actually absurd number. But that was based on, you know, without people having end game perks and stuff. So yeah, I definitely understand though people's early criticism of this just being a tree chopping simulator. Because if you choose to engage in the trade skills much, this is your destiny for a good few hours early game. Especially when player housing starts to really take off. When people start making enough coin to start buying their houses, and they want to start decking their houses out and customizing them, that's when logging is going to be super beneficial to have. Because most of the furniture is based on wood. Oh, we've got like an awful lot of just other stuff now. We can get rid of the stones as well. Oh, did I just... I dumpstered it all and then picked it all straight back up again. Worth it to start stockpiling now then for the demand. The problem is you're going to be heavily limited on storage space. And I think that's a somewhat deliberate decision. Like the storage areas in the different cities can hold like 1,000 kilos of stuff. There'll come a point very quickly though where you can carry just as much as that. By the time you've unlocked, because at level 30 you get a second bag, and at 45 you get a third bag. And even right now, my encumbrance only goes up by 50. But there are basic bags that can give your encumbrance to like plus 300 or something. So by the time you've leveled past 45, you've probably got the option to hold more than the entire storage thing in any given city. Storage will be a massive problem, which is why I think it will incentivize people to sell the stuff that they don't need right now. And those that are savvy with trading, those that understand how to use the buy order and sell order system will have an advantage, because I think towards the end game, storage will become quite an issue. And your player housing, though, for reference, you can put storage chests in your player housings, and that will give you like a personal bigger bank, say. But even then, even to my understanding, even the biggest house you can buy only has room for 4 storage chests. So I don't even think you have the ability to stockpile a lot of stuff. You kind of have to, you know, buy the things that you need, especially if you want to play around with more than 1 or 2 of the actual crafting professions. Because just your materials alone to craft things frequently will take up most of your storage. But we'll see. I'm not making huge amounts of coin right now because I'm focusing on the gathering. Focusing on leveling up gathering, but when we start, once our gathering is leveled up a reasonable amount, in turn our refining gets leveled up because of the materials we're able to acquire, and we can start crafting. That's when we'll start making a lot of coin out of this. Hopefully, that is assuming that we can have some success selling the stuff that we craft, and hopefully if we try and stay ahead of the curve, we're obviously not the first people to craft these things, because I mean there's definitely people way ahead of me at this point, but just loving seeing a person with an aversion to gathering for a week. Hey, it's because I know there's light at the end of the tunnel. Just like I suggest to people in WoW, like gathering is something that you'll do for so long, but once you get past the point of needing to, stop doing it. Let somebody else do it. Let somebody else spend their time whacking away at a tree. You can buy their resources if you need them, because like I said, the skill is going to be in the crafting. If you can craft stuff and level up your professions profitably, that is absolutely the best way of doing it. But that's not to say that... I mean, we're level 24. There's 60 levels. We are, for sure, going to have hours and hours and hours of gameplay leveling. And even when you finish leveling, you'll still end up doing lots of questing to get your standing with the faction better. The faction within each city's better. What do they call it? Do they call it standing with the different cities? I can't remember. But put it this way, you're heavily incentivized to spend a lot of time out in the world. So if you're going to be out in the real world, you're probably going to come across lots of stuff. It makes sense to be able to pick it up when you do come across it. So this is a means to an end. We are 95. I'll probably stop leveling logging once we hit 100, because then we're just in the long ass grind to 175 before we can pick up anything else anyway. Couldn't be bothered with gathering, bores me to death, but I sure appreciate other people gathering. Yeah. What's the gold cap and how many do you have? Well, you can only hold 500,000 coin in this game. Yeah, coin is capped at 500,000. And I definitely don't have any yet. I've not made any conscious effort to make coin though at this point. So a week to go. I probably won't have huge amounts of coin for a long time because I will probably spend my coin on leveling stuff up. But like I said, when we start getting into the crafting and then we try and sell some of our crafted stuff, that's when the coin will start flowing in nicely. I'm making one pretty sizable assumption though. I'm making the assumption that the high-end crafted gear is actually worth it to other people. I'm really hoping that, you know, through this crafting system, you can create arguably the best in-slot items for people. I'm hoping that, you know, the end game content doesn't just naturally give you better gear than what you can craft. Because if crafting is superseded by just, you know, random drops in the world, it will feel a bit gross. Because eventually it will mean that nobody needs crafting. So I'm assuming that crafting gear will be super useful. I think it probably will be, and at the very least it will be for a good couple of months at the beginning of the game. Long term, we'll see what happens, but would be silly considering the amount of emphasis put on crafting. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, the fact that these trade skills are... The crafting system seems to be relatively well thought out. There is more RNG in it than I would like, but you almost feel as if you have control over the RNG in some way, shape or form. I know that sounds silly, but the fact that you can choose to limit the RNG if you want to. But obviously it increases the cost. So it's just like using, I'm going to obviously always make links back to World of Warcraft. It's like using missives on gear. You can choose to put missives on gear so that you get the stats that you want. You can do the same in this, but just on a slightly more intricate level. Sequira, how we doing? Welcome in. Long time no see. You might have been lurking, I don't know. Yeah, been a while. $96, 4 to go. 4 to go. Or in real terms, maybe 20 minutes. Although, I might need to take a trip back to clear some of my bags before too long. Some stuff going on, not a lot of time, but still here. Very glad to see you. Hope you're well. Hope the stuff's not too stressful. Life can be a bitch sometimes, but... Playing New World? Yeah, I'm a bit... It's safe to say I'm pretty hooked on this game at the moment. I'm finding it very difficult to do much else. But it's new and it's fresh and it's, you know, something a bit different. And it's not like there's a huge amount happening in WoW at the moment anyway. So it's as good a time as any to venture further outside of Azeroth and play some other games. Gonna ask how you feel about it. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that this will give me a good few hundred hours worth of enjoyment. I already kind of suspect that there's not huge amounts to grip you to the game long term, but I'm happy about that. I don't have room or time for another World of Warcraft in my life. World of Warcraft already does a good enough job of, you know, occupying as many hours of the day as I can feel sensible giving it. So my argument for playing this at all was that, like I said, I don't have time for another MMO. But if this has, you know, a fun leveling experience, the gathering and the crafting already is got me hooked. The player housing I think is going to be quite fun. Without question, it will be in my interest to end up with the biggest, most badass house, because I would hope that our expertise at making coin will mean I can buy my way to the top. It would not surprise me though if there's people in game that have like virtually already hit the coin cap. Heard some streamers saying that it can be boring to play it alone or not in a guild and stuff. The game it feels very PvP orientated. Now I've not got too much into that side of it yet, mainly because the solo stuff is actually the stuff that drew my attention to it. The gathering, the professions, the trade trees, the crafting, the leveling, that sort of stuff can obviously be more fun in a group, sure. But this is a very PvP focused game, I think, because your achievement 76% complete. What was that? I didn't even see it. You're incentivized to work together as a company. Companies are guilds, by the way. You're incentivized to work together as a company to take over territories. And when you control a territory, then you get to decide things like the tax rates in the territory. And you obviously generate some revenue from those taxes, of which it's designed, at least, for you to use those taxes to then upgrade that territory to allow people better quality crafting equipment and such and such. So the way that you take over those territories is you have to do a bunch of quests and a bunch of missions in each territory, and then if somebody else controls it, eventually once you've done enough, you can choose to go to war, and then you have a big 50-on-50 PvP battle to decide who then takes the zone into control. Covenant's done right. Yeah, it does feel that way. It does feel like this is almost a middle finger to World of Warcraft and the Covenant system. In terms of how Covenants really probably should have played out. You don't get any bonuses for being one of any Covenant, or at least I've not seen any or can't find any. But the sense of, you know, being part of something makes the game feel like an MMO. So I've already said it a few times. There's lots of stuff I think that World of Warcraft could take from this game to help improve WoW. It's been a bit of an issue for a long time in WoW that the reason to be part of an organized group. I mean, for years and years now, the necessity to be in a guild not really been there in WoW, and every new feature and, dare I say it, system that's added into the game always has a way for people to not be part of an organized group. It's become very, very optional to be in a guild in WoW. You can more than comfortably play the game. Now, comfortably doesn't mean, you know, optimally, but you can certainly play the game. You can certainly do the dungeons. You can certainly do the raids without any necessity for a guild. In this game, though, you have no choice but to join a faction. But secondly, there is definitely an advantage to being part of a company that is doing something constructive. I thought guilds were just for bank space. Well, that's the goblin perspective, right? I need to buy a guild so I have more bank space, yeah. Most fun way to play the game is in a guild, but instead of pushing people to try it, Blizzard kept adding options for those that didn't really want to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the complete contrast between vanilla and Shadowlands. In vanilla, you basically can't do endgame content unless you're in a guild. In Shadowlands, you can do everything without going anywhere near a guild. I mean, heck, in Shadowlands, if you have enough gold, you can clear Mythic Sylvanas without even being in a guild, because you just buy a boost. It's ridiculous. You can see and do everything in WoW without ever needing to join in a proper group setup. Which argues the question, is WoW really an MMO anymore? Or, sorry, is WoW... Well, I suppose MMORPG doesn't technically mean that you're banding together, but is it massively multiplayer online? Well, there's a reasonable amount of players, and yes, it's online. Is it a role-playing game? That's harder to justify. I think the Q for LFR button should just pop up saying, "This is stupid, join a guild and do the real thing." Well, yeah. This is equally one of the biggest arguments against the boosting that's going on currently. Now, boosting's always been a thing, but without question, it's getting so sophisticated nowadays. That boosting, the fact that the boosting communities have got so sophisticated, that's another reason for you to never bother joining a guild. Why would you have to go through, like, one of the most stressful things for many people in this world is applying for a job. Applying for a guild is not far off that, to the point where some people just don't do it. I mean, take Preach. Most of Preach's World of Warcraft content was somewhat focused around helping people get into guilds and experience a better version of the game. And he was able to make years and years of content out of that, which only goes to prove a point that many people find it super difficult or stressful to do. So, hey, along comes boosting, where you can just spend some gold and achieve the exact same thing as being in a proper guild. Whereas if you do die or get killed, in some scenarios they actually ask you to die so that mechanics don't hit you, so that they can deal with the mechanics themselves. I mean, the whole thing is weird, right? Silver Moon RPGs degenerate AF. Well, yeah, without doubt there are some some communities that engage pretty heavily in the role playing. That's true. Gives you some experience and teaches you things about applying knowledge, which is definitely beneficial when applying for a job. Oh, I agree. there is a hell of a lot of stuff that you can learn from World of Warcraft that you can relay into the real world. But the ultimate question becomes does somebody want to engage in those sorts of things in their spare time as a pastime? Secondly, I mean, because of course most people play games, you know, to get away from that sort of stuff. Secondly, is it fun? Who knows? We need boosting. Think of all the gold the rich need to spend. Think of their plight. How we doing, Dirty? I'll be welcome in. I'm out for now. Have fun. Mrs. is under the impression I'm going shopping. See you later. Hey, enjoy the shopping. $97. We're getting there. Oh, hang on. I hit the rock. Stupid rock. Right, I'm going to need to go and grab a drink in a second. Let me get somewhere where I'm not going to get abused by a zombie. Pulling an all-night, and I'm excited to join the stream at the beginning for once instead of the end. Pulling an all-nighter? You stepped foot out the submarine then. What's this necessity to pull an all-nighter? I only pull all-nighters when I'm hooked on a new game. And obviously when, you know, it suits the wife. Oh, submarining through your schedule off? Fair enough. Yeah, I suppose the occasional all-nighter is a good way to get your schedule back on track, I suppose. Right, let me chill here just for literally 2 minutes. I don't think I'm going to get eaten by a zombie. I need to go grab a drink real quickly. Bear with me 2 seconds. Abused by a zombie? Is that OnlyFans content? No. Right. No zombies in sight. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what we like to see. Me got insta-hooked for New World. Yeah, I caught the bug pretty bad. It's funny, right? Because I never played the beta or the alpha or anything for this. I basically didn't really pay any attention to it either. So I was very surprised how quickly this thing grabbed me. Being only 40 bucks and not a sub, it's quite attractive. Yeah, that was the thing that was nice to see. The fact that, you know, obviously value is very dependent on each and everyone's own personal opinion, but if I can spend 40 bucks on a game and know full well that I'm going to get a couple of 100 hours of fun enjoyment out of it, that's a bargain. If I have to pay 40 bucks for a game and then pay a subscription on top of it, which the subscription then only incentivizes me to play it as fast as possible so that I can see as much of it for the money. Yeah, my requirements from that game become slightly different. The good and the bad? A TLDR on the good and the bad. The good is that it's quite community driven. If you want to get into a group, you'll have a lot of fun within a group. If you're into crafting and trade skills and stuff from World of Warcraft, for example, you'll probably have a blast. The bad, I would say, is that it's probably more grindy than it needs to be. And I would imagine that that's only going to emphasize itself later on in the leveling process as well. It does feel more grindy than it needs to be, and I don't think the questing is not great. At the moment, the questing feels fine because I'm, you know, testing new weapons, and it's the first 10 times I'm seeing that style of quest. But I don't think there's a huge variety of quests. Like many MMOs, it falls into the go collect 5 of these, go kill 7 of those kind of thing. Which, yeah, after 24 levels is probably still fine. But that might get a little bit repetitive. And then take it as a good or bad that I don't think there's a huge amount of endgame. Like I said, take that as a good or bad dependent on whether you want that or not. I don't want another MMO to keep me gripped for 6 months. I want another game that I feel that I can do a bunch of stuff in. You know, not complete, but get as far as I'm happy with. And then put it down and do something else for a couple of weeks. And then feel as if I can adequately come back to it at a later date, continue from where I left off, or play any new content that's launched kind of thing. This doesn't feel like a game that I will be incentivized to play every day. All the time, sort of thing. I don't mind paying 40 bucks to test a game, but if it has a sub, I'm more like, I don't have time and I've got my Xbox sub and PlayStation games and stuff as well. Yeah, it becomes a priority. Like, which would you rather be doing? And I understand that. Games you've already bought, you're obviously going to prioritize. And other subscriptions that you already have, probably will take priority as well. I get it. I get it. $98. We are getting very close now. And for reference, when I say I'm trying to get to 100, 100 is not the cap. 100 is 100 is literally only halfway. There are 200 levels that we can get in each of the gatherings, but the reason I want to get to 100 is because it's basically a you unlock basically, well, for logging, I'll show you exactly why I want 100 in logging, but with logging at 100 I can start collecting the ward wood. It's not until we get all the way to gathering 175 that we can gather up the ironwood, which is the biggest, strongest trees, I suppose you could call them, in the game. That, though, is, you know, we'll just eventually get there. This is not a huge requirement for me. But getting to 100 is a nice point to where we can then... We'll run around most of the game, do most of our leveling. We might come across the odd ironwood tree, but we'll just, you know, note where they are for future reference. But it will mean that we can, you know, harvest pretty much any tree that we need. For mining, getting to 100 unlocks star metal. Lodestone at 105, platinum at 110. So much past 110 is, once again, just you're on the end game grind then. 110 is where you can pick up pretty much everything that you come across. So that's kind of my plan of action for those. Harvesting is just going to be a long grind. Although where we're at right now, we don't really need to push it much further. It would obviously be nice if we did get further. It'd be nice if we got to 100 so we could pick up silkweed. But this is less important to me. The fact that we can pick up most things with our harvesting already means I'm happy with that. And then skinning. Skinning is something that you just really need to try and keep up with your own personal level more so. Tracking large prey at 75. Tracking small predators at 125 and tracking large predators at 175. But you can skin. I can already skin things that are up to level 30. As long as I can skin anything that I come across, I'm happy. You can see though that as we level up our skinning at level 70, we can skin animals up to level 35. Then at 85 skill, we can skin them up to 40. I also am aware that skinning is quite easy to just power level up. A lot more so than the logging and mining. Did I upgrade my PC? No, I've not upgraded my PC yet. It's in the thought process of doing so, but I want to do it right. I did contemplate only a few days ago picking up. There was a deal on a pre-built PC that wasn't a terrible deal. It was I think it was a 3070 and a Ryzen 5 something or other. I can't remember the exact processor, but it was basically pretty good value. But it was in a pre-built, and I don't there's always a downside to buying a pre-built PC. Always a downside. Whether they cheap out on the if they cheap out on the they always cheap out somewhere. The reason it's a good deal is because they've cheaped out somewhere. So this is the reason why I always like to build my own. Planning on an upgrade or a fresh build? Well, with the price of graphics cards at the moment, it will probably be an upgrade rather than a new build. There are some components in my current PC that are more than fine. My power supply unit is actually my power supply is relatively new. Hang on, let's get rid of that stone as well. My power supply is relatively new. I've got 32 gig of RAM in it already. I've obviously got multiple hard drives because of, you know, content creation. So I'd probably transfer those into a new PC anyway. So it'll probably be a new motherboard, new processor, and then obviously a new graphics card. And then I can just replace a few bits and pieces and we should be good. Such low margins, they have to cheap out on some in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know how it works. I used to sell computers, so I know the margins on them are basically non-existent for the retailers. Games and graphics card killer. It's a weird one, right? People are expecting their brand new graphics cards to do amazing things. It's weird though. I've got a 5-year-old plus graphics card at this point, and I can get 60 FPS most of the time. Sure, stuff's not maxed out, but I can maintain a reasonable frame rate. It's actually killing GPUs, as in physically destroying them. Oh, well, let's hope that doesn't happen. Take those old pieces, stuff them into a cheap case with some cheap parts, make a stream PC. Yeah, that's probably what I will do. I'll probably use my current PC as a stream PC because it's an i7 processor. It's a few years old, but I mean it's more than capable of handling a nice quality stream. Bricking 3090s. Oh dear. Oh god. Well, I'm not in the position to own a 3090, so I'm not bothered. Just did a stream PC. Stream delay went from 30 seconds to about 5. Really? And 3080s now. Oh well, I don't have either of those. Oh well, guess what? Having an old graphics card is probably a bonus then. A few more trees and we should be done. Think you're fine if you have VSync or an FPS cap, preventing the GPU from being able to burn itself up. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it's, because a lot of people probably buy high-end graphics cards without realizing, A, just how much juice they actually absorb, and B, how efficiently they need to be cooled if they are running at max. I would imagine a lot of the... If GPUs are overheating and cooking themselves, then that's less the problem of the game, more the problem of the fact that, you know, your setup was not adequately designed for the GPU to be running at 100% all the time. Either especially a 3090 that is a power-hungry motherfucker. That, if you've not got like a good quality 800 watt power supply, you should not have a 3090. And if you and even an 800 watt power supply is probably borderline for something like that. Especially if it's churning out 100% all the time. Because the logic being is if you've got a 3090, you've probably also got a relatively powerful CPU. Now, the 3090 alone, I think, can hoover up, like, if it's running at 100%, it's probably hoovering up 450 watts by itself. High-end components shouldn't go in a low-end PC. No, exactly. And I think this is probably the issue that is... People have bought these fancy high-end graphics cards and they're putting them in a system with, you know, inadequate cooling or inadequate power delivery. Or quite simply using a motherboard that just cannot handle that throughput. If you're going to buy enthusiast components, build an enthusiast PC. Yeah, definitely, yeah. This is why I don't particularly like buying pre-built PCs. I'd rather build my own. Boom! Logging 100. Woodwood trees. I've officially hit the last tree that I'm going to hit for a while. Thank God for that. We should probably use this opportunity now to head back to base, drop off some stuff. How's taxes going in this city right now? Oh, crafting tax rates are low. Nice, good. Let's where's the fast travel thing gone? I should literally be standing right next to it. Where the hell's it gone? It's there, look, there it is. In this case, it's actually just problems in drivers. New World is causing those issues to happen. Yeah, I mean, it tends to be the case with brand new games that come out. They're just, the Nvidia and AMD just haven't made, you know, good drivers for them yet. They're running off like defaults. So where are we going to go? We're going to go straight back to the main town, I think. Let's do a fast travel there. Right, we've got bags full of stuff now. We need to get some of this turned into something more constructive. I can't remember my way around this city. Okay, all of the industries at that end. We need to probably cook some stuff up, actually. We're out of rations. Are we at a point, when do we unlock a better ration? Is there even a better ration? Probably not, is there? Is it campfire stew? No. I don't know, doesn't matter. Let's just keep travel rations. Tier 2 and tier 2. No, I'd rather, okay. See, this is something that I like with the crafting system. Look, there's a you may notice that there's this chance to craft additional items. This is based upon the combination of things that you use when making the item. So in cooking terms, right? Select a tier 2 raw food. So our red meat is our tier 2 raw food. Then what you pair up with it dictates what your chance to craft additional items at. By default, everything has like a 0% chance to craft additional stuff. So you'll see here, if I just put like a basic thing with it, like a tier 1 egg to go with this, you'll see there's no chance of actually crafting anything like better. If I pair that up though with a tier 3, you can see because the raw food that we're cooking with is higher than the basic one, it gives an increased chance to craft something. And we can go even further up the tree. If we go to a tier 5, we go all the way to the top, you can see there's then nearly a 50% chance to craft additional stuff. Also, as your cooking skill increases, your chance to craft additional items also increase. So there's ways you can sort of proc extra stuff, and it's quite a cool little system. New World can put a portal stone in a forest, but Blizzard can't make a portal from Oribos to other zones. Blizzard can, they chose not to. Bear that in mind. But yeah, bear in mind the fact that they just chose not to. We should probably make some of these food components, because making a bunch of these components is going to be necessary. Light meal at skill 50. This is probably the next one. 100 health a second for 20 seconds. This recovery stops if damage is taken. Afterwards, recover 1% of your health every 2.5 seconds for 20 minutes. Yeah. There's the light meal that we need to get to. I'm wondering if we should just make loads. These are only like +3 cooking, whereas we get +20 odd on these. Okay, sure. It's fine for now. Blizzard needs to rethink their life choices. Yeah, I kind of agree. The more time I spend outside of Azeroth, the more I realise just how... There's an air of arrogance about the World of Warcraft devs that is been only getting more and more so as time goes on. Which I think, for me, feels like a lot of the problem. Oh! People have sold me the coarse sandpaper I wanted. Wonderful. Yeah, the fact that Blizzard devs seem more and more inclined to make the game in the way that they want to make the game rather than in a way that is fun for the player. They almost see it as a portfolio piece. We created this really complicated system and we're going to stick by it because it's a portfolio piece for me as a game developer. Whereas, you know, what would actually be what would actually be nice would be if they just focused on making a game that was fun. Where's the loom? We've got lots of... Oh, hang on, let's do the stone cutting. We might have some stone on as we do. Stone bricks. I guess we can make a bunch of stone bricks. See, people are starting to buy their properties. The player housing's starting to pop off now. Somebody's bought this house. This is one of the cheap houses. You need 15 Monarch Bluff standing level and 5,000 coins to buy this one. They vary in price and ability based on where they are in the cities. Eee, loads of weaving, look. Loads of fibres. Still only got us to 61 though. Damn, that only got us to 65. Whoa! Okay, we need 100 before we can craft silk. Damn. Ooh, have I picked this one up? Oh. Right, let's go deposit. Oh no, hang on. Here's the tannery. Let's get our skinning materials processed. I think it's mostly they want people to do something, so they make a system that pushes people to do that, but then some people would abuse the system, so they need to add something to prevent the issue, and then layers and layers of extra mechanics are added to prevent people abusing it. The end result is completely disconnected from the original goal. Probably. Probably. But I'm more so becoming of the opinion that it boils down to just a badly designed system in the first place. I Shadowlands beta time, I was repeatedly, you know, saying that this legendary crafting system is not a good system. It's a rich get rich system, and it was just outrageously costly, and we knew that before we went in. I just don't think I don't know. It worries me that the Warcraft devs have fell out of love with the game, and I think that maybe a bit of a shake-up in the company. I hope it to end up being only a good thing, but who knows? We've got way too many weapons on us at the moment. Why have we got so many weapons on us? What are all of these and where did they come from? Maybe I should just throw these up on the trade thing. When can we expect the new World of Warcraft goal-making podcast? I was actually going to record a second episode tomorrow. So, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. Hope so, but I doubt it. We can only hope. Oh, a new world gold-making podcast. Oh, I see. Well, I am probably going to put out some more New World related content, but it's difficult for me to make any sort of guides or anything like that for New World until I have the answers myself, so. On critical gain 30% haste, I think that's a pretty good. Scales with dex and intellect. I think that's definitely worth selling. Let's go to the trading post and put some of these things up for sale. What do you mean there are no items to sell? You can only sell items which have maximum durability and are not bound to you. 21 items are being hidden. Oh. Where's the repair all button? Right. This fire staff. Focus, intelligence. Has a fire related perk on it. Reduce the ability's cooldown by 70%. That's probably worth at least listing. No existing buy orders. Are there any current sell orders for something like this? Somebody has listed one with life stealing, strength and constitution. Somebody's posted one with instant focus and empowering meteor shower. There's not really a huge supply of those, but fire staffs are a little bit rarer at the beginning of the game. Wow, 4 coin listing fee. See, this is this is where I worry people are doing some crazy things, right? Somebody's posted this for 1 coin. It probably cost them more than 1 coin to put it to there. By the way, there's maybe a 0 to 1 million book to be made about New World. You know, a niche that needs to be filled. Maybe even discount it. Don't know, just brainstorming. What, 50% off with code New World? Is that what we're saying? Maybe it's an idea. Let's put this on for. We'll do 3-day listings. We'll list it for like 5. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, we'll just delete it. So. His bow, strength on it. It's got the wrong stats on it. If you're gonna buy a bow, you're gonna buy one with dex on it. Life staff, int and focus. A lot of focus, but no perks on it. Out of curiosity. Weirdly valuable by the looks of things. Got a lot of focus and life stealing. And a lot of focus. Higher gear scores. Maybe that's why. Let's go in with a 7 coins. Or 6.99 coins. Let's be cheeky about things. 3-day listing. Go. Great axe, constitution and focus on a great axe. That's terrible. No, if it strength dex on a hatchet, a lot of dex to bit of constitution plus damage to beasts. See, I would use that myself if it wasn't so low. $240, sure. Rapier of the Assassin. Now, actually, I should play around with one of these. I should play around with one of these because I've never used this weapon. Dex and Intelligence, Keen Speed on critical, gain 30% haste. Scales with both Dex and Intelligence. That's actually quite good. I'll just list them both. Oh no, okay, this is a skill 2 one. These are too cheap to bother with. It's this spear. Dex and Constitution. Strength, Intelligence on a Warhammer. No perks though. Take less stamina damage whilst blocking. Nah, they're all too cheap. How did my... No active buy orders. Completed and expired buy orders. So here we go. Coarse sandpaper. The buy order I put out on coarse sandpaper for 50 silver each. We ended up buying nearly all of that. What's the value of these sandpapers looking like right now? If we go to coarse sandpaper, 134 is the current listing for these. If we were to buy it, what are the current buy orders? People are looking to buy them for no more than 30 at the moment. Should probably keep. The thing is, when you place a buy order, you basically pay in advance. If it's fulfilled, cool, great. If it's not, you get the balance back at the end. But if you're in no real rush, this is a good way. You place a low buy order. Anybody that comes along to sell you stuff. But you can probably do buy order shuffling, right? Because if we look now, we're only focusing on the current place that we're at. The cheapest we can buy coarse sandpaper for, we can just go somewhere. We can just go to Everfall and buy over 1,000 sandpaper for, oh no, available. We can buy 341 sandpaper for 55 silver a piece. If there was a buy order in place somewhere for more than that, we could just buy it, take it somewhere, sell it straight away. Just shuffling material, like being the guy in the middle could be quite funny. Alright, these weapons though, we can salvage these because we know we're not gonna use them. This one I might actually keep this. I might test, although it's just tragic. It's just tragic. Let's just get rid of it. Salvage. What was this piece of gear? Waterlogged shirt of the barbarian. Strength, constitution, reinforced logging luck. While logging, gain 2.5% chance at finding rare items. Oh, I should have been wearing that thing for hours. Ah, I should have been wearing this thing for hours. Control S, quick salvage, by the way. Yeah, I know. I don't do it that frequently to worry about it. I wish I'd have known that for the last however long I've been whacking at trees. Alright, well, I don't care anymore. I wonder, is that gonna... I don't know. Fine. Right. Where do we need to go now? We need to get our mining up. Now, we could go... Logging 100. What's Woodward list looking like value-wise? Is it worth just going and getting some? If we were to sell all items... wood. Where is it on the list? Hang on. Materials, raw resources, woods. Wood. There's literally none for sale over here. Are you mad? Nobody's selling it? Maybe... Then... What are the where are the logs? Are they considered crafting components? No. Ores, cloth, stones, oil, raw hides, flints, ingots, fibers, feathers, gemstones, precious ores. Where's the actual woods? They're like, where's lumber? Oh, here we go. Oh, they're considered planks. Okay. That makes sense. Woodward planks. No buy orders in place for the planks. Oh, there we go. So there are woodwood planks for sale. 20 coins a piece. 20 coins a piece is the cheapest price for these planks. Now that we have the ability to go get the wood, we don't yet have the ability to craft the planks, but we are getting there. One step at a time. We have the ability to log the wood, but we need, where do we need? We are woodworking 83. We need woodworking 100 before we can actually make the planks. This is the pattern to downgrade from those planks, but to actually make the planks itself, we need 100. Maybe let's just go get some. Then what do we need? We need, if we want to get our woodworking up really quickly, what do we need to do? We need aged wood. Is there any aged wood for like just stupid cheap? Surely there must be. Can we just buy aged wood for like virtually nothing? We can. I mean, it's not free, but I mean, it's almost free. Or we go do some more logging specifically for the purpose of leveling that up. I mean, I bet there's places we can go where they're just giving it away. We went to Everfall, we can buy 500 for like nothing. And that's the aged wood. What about the green wood? Green wood has got a... Whoa, why is green wood so expensive? What? Why is greenwood, like, way more expensive than even the aged wood? Is that because everybody is out trying to sell their aged wood because, you know, they're logging and they're getting lots of it? And they're focusing on the mature trees rather than the young trees? That's crazy. Sure. That makes very little sense. I like that they use the Elder Scrolls systems of you get better at something the more you do it. Yeah, I'm quite liking that as well. Okay, that's incredible. I never expected greenwood to be, like, so much more expensive considering you can just pick this up, like, no effort whatsoever. Okay, so you need maybe it's because maybe greenwood is the bottleneck, weirdly. That's funny because that shouldn't be the case. That really shouldn't be the case. All right, well we need to then, now that we've got logging at 100, we need to get woodworking to 100 as well. So to do that, we just need lots of wood. Any advice for somebody just starting? Any advice for somebody just starting? Pick a server that doesn't have a queue, and pick a server with like medium population. Don't pick a high server or you're just going to get sat in a queue all the time. They're going to offer a server transfer eventually anyway. So, and they're offering the first server transfer for free. So just pick a dead server to start on. You can always move to a bigger server at some other point if you want. Yeah, that's really it. There's not a lot to say. Just dive in and start playing and start learning things. It's nearly impossible to make like tragic mistakes. So just get playing. We've got over 1,000 sandpaper here. That should hopefully be enough to make a sizable amount of... I mean, it might not be enough. We might need more than 1,000 sandpaper, but it's a really good start. We go out to the south. Monarch Bluffs. Fill our bags with lumber again then. And then just rinse and repeat. Hey, wait, that's not WoW. Yeah, I know. We're breaking the laws of streaming. Just WoW and a new... It's WoW 2. Yep. Right, let's whack down a bunch of trees, fill our bags with wood, and then just go back and keep processing it all until we have more than we need. Weirdly, we need to kind of prioritize young trees. Probably because everybody's running around, they're leveling up their logging. They unlock the ability to hit a mature tree, and then they stop hitting young trees. Without realizing you still need twice as much green wood than you do aged wood. Change the chest piece. You're a genius. Actual genius. 2.5% luck whilst logging. Probably empty our bags of, like, basically anything else. This goes to show your logging is never done. Literally never done. We were like, yeah, we hit logging 100. We can go whack down a new tree. Right, now let's not whack down any new trees. Let's just continue hitting the same trees we've always been hitting. Because now we need to level up our woodworking. Oh yeah, there's a weight limit? Yes. Yeah, you can only carry X amount. Like, the inventory is not based on, like, slots, like it is in WoW. The inventory is entirely based on the weight of stuff. Which I think is quite good, right? Because it means that, you know, it's never made sense to me that carrying a massive, great big sword around takes the same amount of inventory space as one piece of linen cloth, you know? I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I should start singing, yeah. I think if I start singing, I'll scare everybody away. Need to hire some mules. It'd be cool if you could do something like that. Storage is definitely going to be an issue. For those that want to get into the, for those that want to get deep into the trade professions, without doubt, storage is going to be an issue. Zanzafal's like 500,000 hours ahead of me, and one thing he was saying is that he really, really struggles for storage space. But he's a real hoarder. You look at his bags in WoW and you'll understand that he's a real hoarder. I'm more keen to just throw things away. But it's when you first start this game, you feel like you need to hoard everything because you don't know what everything's for yet. You have no idea, like, well, if I, you know, is this thing valuable? Do I need it? Is somebody going to need it eventually? You kind of don't know. Does your carry amount improve when you level up, or is it always the same? Yeah, your carry amount can definitely level up with you. There are bag slots. I only have access to one bag slot at the moment, but it increases my encumbrance, which is, you know, your ability to carry stuff. You start at 200. With just this one bag, I'm up to 250, but this is like the worst of the worst bag. If I was to go get a reasonably sized bag, I could probably get plus 150 or something just on this one bag, and then you can end up with 3 of them. Eventually, you'll be able to carry a reasonable amount, but I'm focusing more on just playing around with gathering professions and stuff at the moment than I am leveling my dude up. Or my dudette, sorry. She's a beautiful 70s porn star. I can be your carry man for an hourly rate. I mean, eventually I might take you up on that. Weirdly, I need young trees. Bow chicka bow bow. What? I mean, look at her. She's beautiful. I mean, that mustache. I mean, that is just something else. That is a tash and a half. Right, give me the young trees. This just shows, look how quick our bags are actually filling up already. We've got 100 kg worth of just wood on us already. We've only been out here for like 5 minutes. Those mature trees, so much better lumber to offer. Yeah, it's weird, right? That the aged wood. I think actually the reason the aged wood is probably so cheap is because people are choosing to sell the aged wood rather than turning it into proper planks. Because to turn aged wood into planks, you need sandpaper. Now, sandpaper, you either have to farm it up yourself, which you have to run around and collect chests to get it, or you need to buy it. And so people are choosing not to. They're just out there whacking away and then selling everything that they gather. The green wood, green wood, you know, doesn't take any additional material to process. People are stripping this place bare. Go get these little trees over here. Deforestation, yeah, a little bit. I need to be cautious that we need twice as many. We need twice as many green wood as we need aged wood. We want to try and keep it sort of balanced if we can. Which will annoy the people out here trying to level because I'm stealing all of the low level trees. But snooze you lose. They can get over it, level later. Yeah, exactly. Survival of the fittest. That's the sound we're going to hear a lot more of, by the way. Not so much right now, but we do also need to get our mining up as well. I need more small stuff. Takes me back to Valheim. Never played that one. See, this is the thing I want to do more so. I get so engrossed in WoW. Especially since I started, you know, creating content for it as well. I get so engrossed in WoW that I kind of forget that, you know, other games exist. And this is the thing, right? WoW has this ability to just lock you in and make you feel as if you're not spending, you know, a good amount of time every day in WoW. It makes you feel like you're, you know, getting behind, or, you know, you're not being competitive, or I know a lot of that's probably self-imposed, but the whole nature of, like, you know, daily missions to level up reputations and this sort of stuff often leaves me feeling as if I kind of have to play WoW every day. Which, sure, is great, but there are times where I want to, you know, take a few days and play something else. And the fact that, you know, there's the subscription. The subscription to WoW is really starting to grind on me. It would probably grind on me a lot more if I was paying for it. I'm lucky that obviously my subscriptions, I pay for them with gold. But even still, every day that I'm not playing World of Warcraft, I'm still paying for it in some way, shape or form. Which, if there's no other games I want to play, is not really a problem. But when there are other games I want to play, it very quickly becomes a negative. Oh, we're encumbered. Okay. Let's throw out these stones then. Let's finish up gathering some young wood. Young wood. Some green wood. 350 aged wood, so about 700 regular wood should do it. We might not get quite perfectly even, but... our axe is broken again. Right, let's head back now, actually, because otherwise our bags are going to fill up and we're going to get in an awkward situation. Which direction are we going in? Up and to the right. Let's go take all of this lumber then, process it, hopefully get our woodworking up a couple of skill points, and gauge just how far we'll be able to get. I actually feel better when I realise I don't need to play it every single day. Yeah. Yeah, WoW has this. It's both a positive and a negative. When you want to be playing the game every day, it's good because there's things that you want to do every day. But when something more attractive comes along, it shouldn't also feel like a massive disadvantage to have to play it every day. But what are you going to do? So the reason we were trying to keep equal amounts is because you take 4 pieces of green wood and that makes a single timber. But then that timber, you take 2 timber, which is in essence 8 pieces of green wood, and add it to 4 pieces of aged wood to make some lumber, which is what we're trying to do here. And eventually that lumber, in turn, will then be added to the wood to make wood planks. So it all one goes into the other, so you kind of need to continuously farm the low level stuff as well. So let's turn the green wood into timber. And let's take... you can see with timber as well, now that we have high-ish woodworking, we're actually gaining more than a regular player would do. Let's take this aged wood and the timber and throw some sandpaper at it. This is the reason why the aged wood is probably cheap. Because people are gathering up the aged wood and they're saying, oh, I need sandpaper to make it into lumber. And they're just not bothering because maybe they don't have sandpaper. So they're just choosing to sell the aged wood instead. So now we can make a whole bunch of this. 89 of our sandpaper's gone in one go. That got us from 90 up to 92. Oh, that's really quite cool. That means we've got enough sandpaper to get woodworking to 100 quite comfortably then. I thought sandpaper might be our limiting factor here, but it probably won't be. What we need to do now, though, is get some more timber, which in turn means that we need more green wood. So that's our plan. It was nice to see we got like 7 levels off that. So 1 or 2 bag loads worth of wood now should hopefully get woodworking up to the point where we can actually make the wood planks. Then any of those that we get, we can decide. I should have actually checked to see if those planks go into the super high stuff, or whether we'll then start to just look at maybe selling some of those materials. There's a young tree. And look what our bags did. Our bags were full a minute ago. By the time you've processed it all into lumber, it weighs like considerably less. So when storage becomes an issue, you don't want to be storing everything at low level. You want to process it up as high as you can. So then it takes up less storage space. Because you can convert things down again. There's a bit of a tax by doing it. It requires a reagent to break things back down. But I think endgame, you'll want to convert everything up to the highest quality material you can. So that you can store more of it. and have more of it. And if you need to break it down, you have the option to. But your inventory would very quickly fill up with like low-level materials if you let it. These are all mature trees. Ironically, we'll probably end up with a whole bunch of, you know, spare levels by doing this. But we need to get to 200 eventually anyway. Now, obviously, once the game's been out a little while, you could probably buy yourself this advantage, right? Like you level up your character, you just buy good equipment, and you just buy the materials you need to level things up rather than gathering it yourself. But currently, the price of the raw materials is not in my favor to buy them. Because often at the moment, the crafted material is worth less than the raw version of it. Weird scenario, but it's a thing. So where are we up to now? 261 regular, 37 non-regular. It's weird how like these skinny bamboo things sometimes take 4 or 5 whacks to get them down. But a massive great big tree, you can then harvest it in like 3 hits. I don't know how it I don't know what the logic is behind it, but it's a bit funny. Is there a free trial to the game, or do you have to reach to your wallet for the start? I think you have to. I think you just have to buy it, because there's no subscription or anything to it. So I don't think there's a free trial. I don't think it's in their interest to offer a free trial for it yet. They're already struggling with too many people playing it. Maybe it might go free. There might be a free trial of it at some point in the future, but as it stands at the moment, it's credit card at the ready. What I do need to do is start looking at, once I've got the gathering skills up, because my primary focus is just skilling up the gathering at the moment. The gathering and the refining, I should say. Once I've done that, though, it might be worth looking at trying to find some, you know, actual proper material farming routes. Because that's the kind of thing that I think will be really helpful to people as well. If you go to this area and follow this sort of route, you'll be able to pick up X, Y, or Z kind of quite quickly. Because the way that people play video games, I mean, look at WoW, for example. The way that people play video games is they would like to be self-sufficient, if they can. Most people value their time way less than they value any sort of in-game currency. Especially when you can't buy that in-game currency, right? What's in the people's bags at the moment, in terms of coin, they would much rather, given the choice, spend that coin on like a gear upgrade or something than they would to buy a material to level up a trade skill. So if I am to put some content together for this game, I think like farming routes, material guides, that sort of stuff is probably going to be quite beneficial to people. And eventually like some crafting guides to be able to actually level up the crafting efficiently as well. Started yesterday, so I need to ask, are all the banks linked? Are they separated like the trading posts? Yeah, the storage, they're separate. So yes, if you put stuff in a storage locker in one of the cities, you'll need to go back to that city to get it. Now you can, if your faction controls the city, you can transfer the materials without going there yourself, but it costs you coin to do it. But like I said, it relies on your faction owning the city. So for example, I'm the purple dudes, right? So anything in Cutlass Keys in the storage over here, I could get access to from anywhere else. I think. I've not fully tested this out. But if I was to do so, it would cost me. So you can see here, you can click on and see the storage. Now in Cutlass Keys, it's actually a higher level zone. I've been to Cutlass Keys, but I've not spent any time there, so I've not got any materials in there at the moment. But you can get access to stuff. But it will visit a storage shed to access stored items. You can get access to other storage sheds, but you know, there's a transfer fee. Or you just have to go there and pick it up. How's the respawn work? There's a camp-based system, right? So if you're going out and you're doing some questing, you can press Y, and you can place one of these camps, which acts as a respawn point. So you can build one of these close to wherever you are. Alternatively, if you die, you respawn either at the main city or a fast travel point. So the emphasis is on making those little camps. At the camp, you can also rest, which will regenerate your health, and you can also craft from them as well. So if you run out of food, you can do basic crafting. There's like the camps have like their own crafting tree of things that you can make. Okay, we've got a lot of basic wood now. Now we probably need to fill our bags with a bit of mature aged wood or whatever it's called. I'm going to need to eat some food before too long, I think. I need one more mature tree and then we can head back. That'll do. Can we maybe one more? Squeeze one more in. I don't want to go over my weight limit. Oh! Bang on. 250 out of 250. Perfecto. I don't want to go over my weight limit. That's what I say every meal time. Never works. Well, it's funny in this. If you go over your weight limit, you also get fat and slow. So it's very much like that. Yeah. Very much like that. Turn the timber into something constructive. That got us to 94. Now make some lumber. Let's just make these like 20 at a time, because we seem to be getting 94 up to 95 in a bit. $97. Alright, we're not quite going to have enough to get 100 here. 98 in a bit. So we're nearly there for woodworking. You can see you can downgrade stuff. So, for example, if I went and bought ironwood planks, I don't think anybody's even been able to make or sell these yet. But you could turn ironwood planks into woodwood planks at a very, very low level. This is going to be. This means basically when the longer the game goes on, the easier it might be to level up these things. Because at the moment, you have to kind of go. You have to go the hard way, right? You have to grind from the bottom. But eventually, the game will probably pan out so that these ironwood planks, being the very end game planks, will probably be expensive. But there'll be so many people picking them up that the price of them and the value of them might tank. And so you can mix some of them with some solvent to get some, woodwood planks at a very early point. But yeah, we need 100 so that we can make the planks natively. We need more sandpaper as well to be making that, so we need to be aware of that. But we are close. We are very close. One more bag load of stuff and we should be good. Head back out. My little bonus because of 2.5% luck on my chest piece for logging is not really paid off yet. Oh, these are all mature trees. Where did all the young trees go? Then we need to go off on the hunt and actually find some of these woodwood trees. Now, I know there's only one place where I know for a fact they spawn. I've not traversed the lands too much at this point, but the rare materials tend to spawn in the same places. So, worst case scenario is you're going to get people actually camping them. Like the real end game stuff. We already, was it Saturday maybe? I can't remember. I think it was last stream. We found somebody botting some of the gold veins. And that's probably going to happen a lot more. That people will just camp the rare resources because they spawn back in the same place. A rare resource isn't necessarily like it often is in WoW, where it's a rare version of the normal one. A rare node just will always respawn there, but it'll have a long respawn time, which will and there's the added problem that they're not multi-tap. So the rare resources, they're rare. You're going to need to be there when it spawns, or somebody else is going to take it and you're going to miss it. Even if 2 or 3 people are camping the same spot, it's going to be who can press the button fastest when it spawns. It's going to get real messy, I reckon. And I would imagine you'll have parties of people within the same company, probably, farming the rare resources. Kind of an Ungro Crater-esque feeling about it. Start to work on the gatherer add-on for this? Maybe. We've gained nearly an extra four logging levels just coming out and gathering some of these materials again. I can't quite envisage how long it's going to take us to get to 175. I can't even begin to imagine just how many trees we're going to have to whack down to get to 175. And then to get to 200, Christ. Those last 20 levels or something, you might get... at this rate, it feels like the last 20 levels of your gathering professions, it might take you 2 hours to get a single level. Which I guess, with it being an MMO, is probably something that they're actually going for. Whilst you have access to everything, I don't think... and this is why I think a lot of it feels quite grindy. Because you look at the fact that, oh, well, I can do everything. And you think that you should then actually be able to do everything. But I think it might require, you know, people to dedicate their time to something. Their time and their resources to something specific. Otherwise, if you just trying to do everything would take you months, I think. I mean, we will do it. Because we're crazy, but we will do it. Do you need to be max level to level up professions? No. But what you probably will find is once you get past a certain point, the materials that you unlock the ability to gather will only be spawning in the higher level zones anyway. So you might need to level up just passively anyway. The last levels are going faster because the later materials give you more experience. I'm not there yet, so not too sure if it's true. Yeah, the later materials probably do, but in turn, the later materials are probably also rarer. They might give more experience, but there's not as many of them. But yeah, you might be right. Raise an entire forest. What's your reward now? You can do it faster. Yep. Basically. Right, where are we at to now? We're about double there. That should be enough, you know. If we head back into the town now, that should be enough. We'll whack a couple of trees on the way there, but that should pretty much be enough now. I wouldn't mind it if the middle levels are actually like the bottleneck. Because it'll discourage people from doing it. And as we know with playing with in-game economies in WoW, the more that somebody's discouraged to do something means the less people that actually do it, meaning the less competition you have, and the more exclusive a club that you end up being part of if you do choose to do it. Now, there's a tipping point there to where it just gets egregious, but for the most part, I think that's fine. But this bag load of wood, though, should now be enough to get our woodworking skill up as well. And then we are in a good position. So let's turn this into timber. That put us to 99 and a bit anyway. A couple of these then. Boom. 100. Beautiful. The stream's being New World now. Do you still auction house PvP in WoW? Yeah, I'm still posting my auctions and stuff. I'm not actively playing WoW too heavily at the moment. This is definitely where my focus is. But I know that the lifespan of this game is not everlasting. So WoW is still our home, don't worry. Imagine if you had to process all that wood one by one, just like WoW. Yeah, that would be pretty gross. Now we can craft these bad boys. Doesn't mean we need the wood. The wood. The wood. How much wood can a wood? How much wood can a wood? But yes, cool. Now we can make them. So you can see as default, we have a flat 5% chance to grant additional items. But if we throw, haha, that's interesting. It's at this point, right, that using regular sandpaper is a disadvantage. What we should actually be doing is buying the next level of or acquiring the next level of sandpaper and using that fine sandpaper, I think it's called. Oh yeah, it's here. Look, fine sandpaper, because that will then give us a additional chance to craft more of them. Obviously, though, fine sandpaper in itself is going to be rarer and more expensive to use, so. I'm waiting on the boat to see how the game goes. I'm afraid max level doesn't provide much. Well, it probably doesn't, but there's comfortably 200 hours worth of content in the game regardless. So, I know that endgame content is probably not very fleshed out, but when an MMO launches, it's not about the endgame content. It's about the leveling process. And you can engage in most aspects of the game whilst leveling, so. Right, now we need to go get some of this, and we need to make some of these, and maybe throw it up on the old auction house. Although selling it might not be so wise, considering we actually use it in crafting the next stuff. But we ain't going to be able to gather this for a long time. I don't think. Betting that if this goes well in 6 months, we'll see something more. Oh yeah, I mean, you forget, this game is made by Amazon. It's not like they're short of cash or anything. They're very incentivized to just make a good game. Right, there's only one spot where I know for a fact there's some of the trees that we need to get now. So I'm going to go and explore it. It's about here, I think, but it means we need to travel over to Windswood Village. Windswood, who at the moment has got a reasonable crafting fee. We can spend some time over here. Let's fast travel over there. Right, I've got to take a quick bathroom break though, boys and girls. I'll be back with you in 2.
You just lost $5.
Alrighty. Oh, excuse with the Prime Gaming. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. Sorry, I was AFK while it came through, but thank you all the same. Right, let's head down out this way. Now what we can do is we can actually there's a little lap I like to do round Eldergate, where Eldergate for reference is in Windswood. Southern part of the map. But this place is really good for mining. You have a bunch of different ores, iron, silver. There's a couple of spots of gold here. There's loads of stone, so you can continuously be whacking away at stone to level up your mining in the first place. So this area's proved to be quite good for leveling up your mining. And in turn, for mining, you're also then leveling up your stone cutting. The woodworking and logging is in a good place now. We don't really need to push these much higher than what they are. My next focus is to get on board with mining. Mining needs to be at 100 plus. Star metal can be picked up at 100. 105 we can get lodestone, and platinum we get at 110. So 110 is really our goal for mining. And in turn, with all of the materials that we pick up from mining, that will then go into a combo of both smelting and stone cutting. The rare ores that we get, we will smelt it into bars. We're already 83. We need to be level 100 before we can do platinum, star metal, and the shell dust flux conversion. Stone cutting, we need to be... Stone cutting is more of a dual crafting thing. And the bricks, I believe, probably go into something, but I haven't really worked out what yet. But yeah, stone cutting gives you the crafting of the orbs that people need to get into the... Oh, I want to call them dungeons. They're not called dungeons, though, are they? You know what I mean. Stone cutting also gives you the crafting of basic gems as well. Lodestone brick. Cut stone mainly used to upgrade parts of a settlement or fortress. Oh, well, there we go. I should have just, read the tooltip. So yeah, mining's now our next priority. Well, both smelting and the stone cutting is really the priority. But now this little lap that we go on, I'll show you the route as we go through it. This little route involves some of the wood that we've now unlocked the ability to gather as well. So this little route starts to become... It's at this point I feel like our gathering route starts to become actually sort of profitable, which is quite cool. Whether I choose to sell the materials or whether I choose to save them for, doing some more stuff with, I don't know, but let's get whacking away. Here's some silver. Silver's needed to turn into gold. Gold is then needed to turn into platinum. Okay, it's bugged out and it stayed there. There's some deposits over here somewhere. More silver. You see those trees up there, they're the wood trees. We'll get to them in a minute. Let's take a little lap through this cave. Now, there's probably some good little routes like this in most of the zones, but I wanted to focus pretty heavily on gathering, getting my gathering skills up first before like working on routes, because you tend to focus on gathering routes more so when you've already leveled up your professions and you're just trying to profit from them. If you use the farming routes whilst you're leveling up the gathering, it's usually a much slower process than it should be. See, there's the lodestone that's in here. That's one of the rarer ones. We need a skill 105 to pick that up, though. Wow, that box was actually useless, but sure. I probably should be skinning these things as well, really. Gets our skinning level up. Gives us some rawhide. Back to the theory of, if you're gathering, you should, gather everything. It's not really much use to do some of it rather than when you can do all of it. And if somebody's killed it but left the thing there, I'll happily take the free materials. Somebody's been here and stolen all the silver, but before too long we'll be able to whack at these two as well. This requires us to be level 100. We go up here though. Oh, this was being camped the other day. See how it's doing now, but there's a couple of iron nodes. There's a couple of gold nodes up here as well. Parkour simulator. Yeah, a little bit. It kind of looks like to me the gold isn't there. We worked out that the respawn timer on the gold is quite long. And as you can see, there's two piles here. Obviously at the moment both of them are not up. Was this the same dude from the other day? Can't remember. I can't remember what his name was. There was a dude farming it up there though. Literally AFK botting it. Ooh, beautiful. Spawned right on top of us. I'm quite sure I'm not the only one that's worked out this little route though. Because I tend to find a lot of people doing mining around here. Kill the puma, skin the puma. There's often some big stones here that you can easily pick up. And in this cave there's often a couple of nodes as well. They're not showing on my mini-map though, which means they're probably not here. Saltpeter though, we'll pick that up. Supply crate. Chance at giving us some of the reagents we need. Sand flux, for example. And then out this way, we're able to pick up sometimes a couple of herbs. There's a couple down here sometimes occasionally. They're not here now. But we can drop down and round to the blue trees, which conveniently somebody has just harvested them all. Great, excellent. So, I wanted to show you the blue trees, but somebody's yoinked them, so. maybe this is a good opportunity to see just how long the respawn is on the blue trees. I'm going to call them blue trees because I can't remember what they're called. Wardwood stuff. There we go. Goes to show that there's many people leveling up their stuff now, being able to. A couple of days ago, I was running around. I'd basically never seen anybody harvesting these trees. By this point, though, now the weekend's been and gone, I imagine there's people that pretty aggressively leveled stuff over the weekend. So I'm probably a bit behind again. Oh, no, literally just missed the respawn of that iron. Of course I have. People are also choosing to do this with war mode activated as well. I don't think war mode has a different instance. But I guess people's experience from doing it is better, even though they're not actually looking to engage in PvP. I call it war mode. So all my referencing is going to be World of Warcraft related, because that's just how my brain works. With PvP mode on. I bet these trees have got a real Dumbo long respawn time, haven't they? It's going to annoy me now. I should have picked them up earlier. I know that they've been collected like literally a couple of minutes ago. This is the only place I actually know of on the map where they spawn. And that's only because I haven't looked for reference. They spawn all over the place, but... They say a watched pot never boils, so let's not watch them. Oh, I thought that was something we could pick up. Hey up, what's going on here? Ow! Corruption. That's not what we wanted. Oh shit. Yeah, we're not engaging in this. For starters, we're not level 25, and we're not in a group. Let's peace out of that one. We know our limits. You know there are maps of the New World, right? Yeah, I'm aware there are maps. I should and would and will pay a little bit more attention to them. Annoying, that corruption is spawned right where our trees are. Outrageous behaviour. I guess then, with that in mind, we'll drop down and we'll just do a little bit of mining for now. There's plenty enough stones to pew pew around here. I think I'm going to need to pick one of the professions though. Like I said, taking my own advice, the grind of the actual crafting professions is probably going to be real. Trying to do them all at once is probably not that sensible. this, I would probably be better off focusing on one, or maybe two. Crafting what we can with it, selling our spare materials, and being able to level up a single crafting profession faster. I kind of like the sound of going dual crafting, mainly because I believe that most people probably won't. It lends nicely to mining. I think everybody's going to want to go armor. Everybody will probably focus on like armor crafting or weapon crafting. Was that chicken hiding in a rock? The chicken was literally in a rock. Stupid chicken. I'm glad that we got quite a lot of spare sandpaper, actually, because you need sandpaper for stone cutting as well. That's why I think the sandpaper, coarse sandpaper, is actually quite a valuable commodity at the moment, because it's needed by lots of people rather than just for one thing. We'll skin in whilst we're here. If we're killing the wolves and leaving them, meat's meat though, right? 143. Let's go hand this in then. Pick up the earth spine though. Might as well grab ourselves some moats. Yoink. $249.1. Okay, that's definitely enough. Definitely enough. Hey, look, more people are buying the buildings. Ah, somebody's got a doggo. Somebody's got 2 doggos. I'll be rich one day. One day. One day we'll be balling. One day we'll buy the biggest mansion in town. Right, smelt up some ore then. Melt that. Off you go. Can we make some steel? Loads of steel. Lovely. Not steel. Silver. Silver. Remembering the protective gear? What is that? What did we just get? I don't know. Do we look at making some steel? We got a bit of flux. If we got some flux, we might as well use it. Although in theory, we should probably prioritize using our flux on making gold ingots rather than steel ones. As I'm not in any rush just yet. I think I will save out for maybe getting some gold ore there. Let's turn any wood into whatever it needs to be into. Although let's save our sandpaper for now, because our sandpaper now should probably go over here. If you got a really big mansion, you should be able to employ others to do your crafting for you. Hey, as long as I still get the skill for it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you are right. We should cut gems where possible as well, just because it's a little bit of free experience. Semi-free experience. Oh, barely worth doing actually, but sure. Stone brick, sand... Oh my god! Oh no, all our sandpaper's in the other town. We left our sandpaper back at home. Derp. We might need to go get our sandpaper then. Our sandpaper is in the wrong town. Although I'm running relatively low on fast travel resources. Oh god, I've got enough. I've got enough to get there, but not enough to get back. Oh Christ. Oh, what a... Oh, phooey. This is because I've spent way too long just playing with... You know what I need? I need a mining pick that gives us the... My brain desperately wants to call it anima. It's not called anima. Tools, gathering tools, pickaxe. I can't use star metal ones yet because you have to be level 40 to use a star metal one. But a steel one. Can we... What's the highest gear score one? 335. Azoth extraction. 39% chance when finishing gathering a node to gain 1 Azoth. Yeah, see, that's what we need. We need one that gives us Azoth. We're sure as shit not paying 900 coins for it, though. Azoth extraction, 38% chance. Gain 5.7% and durable. No. We want... Is it possible to have Azoth and... Perk selected. Oh, Azoth extraction. Azoth extraction. What other ones can you use? Mining luck. Finding rare items. Mining yield. 10 to 19% more resources. Prospector's discipline. They're the two we want. Is there any with that combo? There are some steel mining picks with that combo. One that's here right now for 500 coins. Azoth extraction and mining experience. 500 coins. It's really not worth it since our current pickaxe already gives us Prospector's Discipline. I'm not spending 500 coins just for Azoth extraction on it as well. Nope. Sorry, not happening. Alright, fine. We're going to there, and then we'll work out how the hell we get back. I need to go get my sandpaper. I didn't realise all my sandpaper was in the wrong town. Come on, game. Speedy now. What's the hold up? I wish the loading screen had a loading bar. You know, little things. Please don't disconnect me from the server. If I get disconnected now, it's game over for New World today. Oh no, this is taking considerably longer than it should do, even on my potato PC. Oh dear. How long do we leave this before we decide that it's locked up? It concerns me that my graphics card is no longer making a whirring noise. In terms of it's obviously chilled out because it's not doing anything right now. Why is my game not loading? Oh, do I dare open Task Manager? Oh god. Well, it doesn't say not responding, which I guess is a... Guess means it's doing something. Whatever it's doing it slowly. That's not a good sign. Oh boy, if I exit this and we get in a massive queue. It's broken. Okay. Maybe there's a reconnect and it won't put us in a queue. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That could be the end of our New World adventure today. This is really loud, by the way. This intro thing is really loud, just warning you before it blasts your ears. Run New World on an SSD, they said. It'd be faster, they said. Thanks, Amazon Games. Appreciate it. Right. Please don't put me in a queue. Let's keep everything crossed. Fingers, toes, arms, the whole shebang. Oh! We might be in. Where we'll be, who knows? This looks positive. It might be good. Still a big maybe. Third loading screen. But, oh, we're in! Yay! It did actually send us where we needed to go as well. Monarch Bluffs, cool. Whew. Right, well now I have the real problem of while I have access to my coarse sandpaper, which I'm going to take out so that I have it to hand. What I don't have is a good little farming zone close to town to go do some mining and stuff. Maybe it's time to take a look at one of the maps and have a little look. Or, I mean, I should probably do a bit of questing, you know. We should probably play the game just a touch today. Think thinking about it. Let's, where's the stone thingy over here, though? It's over this, it's over here. Check the crafting. Is not too outrageous. Alright, our stone cutting and smelting is still playing catch up in regards to mining. Gold is better than playing the game? Probably. Why have I got 88 achievements all of a sudden? I don't think that's meant to be a thing. I'm not entirely sure it liked my game crashing. I'm not sure that's meant to be a thing. Alright. Okay then. Does it cost me to respec yet? It does. It costs me a lot to respec. Okay. What are our bags looking like? We've got a quest to hand in these. Where is our quest to hand in these? Maybe I might go run a couple of quests real quick just to Nah, forget it. That's silly business. Let's continue with our mining. Let's go out to Devil's Quarry. Out and to we probably want to go out this way to Devil's Quarry. Oh, hang on. Storage stuff. Gold equals playing the game? Well, that's true. Store all of this stuff. Store all of this stuff. Store. What's weighing us down? Oh, haha, that sandpaper. That coarse sandpaper is heavy. Holy smoke. Maybe I don't want to carry all of that around with me. Damn. Who would have thought a few pieces of sandpaper were so heavy? Apparently so. I like to think that Blizzard, some people playing New World, Final Fantasy, etc. just to see where they could improve. Well, I hope so. You'd hope so. And is Law still Blizzard's community manager? I think he is, isn't he? And he was playing New World the other day. Oh, not checked in. You know, that's what I should... Where's our... Where are we checked into? We are currently checked into... Oh, First Light? Ugh. We're doing checked in all the way down there. Alright, fine. Well, I guess we're not going there anytime soon. Right, who's stolen all my stones? I think I'll just do laps around the outside of the city for this. There's not really too much point going further afield. I want to try and spend as much time swinging the mining pick as possible. And stone is really heavy, so we're likely to have to take quite frequent trips back into town. I think it would be very worthwhile, the addition of mounts. As getting places is not too much of an issue. But I can imagine by the time you've done a little bit more leveling and you start having to actually get a lot further afield a lot more frequently, being limited to being on foot could become a bit of an annoyance. But there's always a where are you going? There's always a downside of adding mounts in terms of that it allows players to skip basically all the stuff. Because if you can mount up and just run past all the things that are trying to kill you, all of a sudden the zones are just not dangerous anymore. Which is probably why they've chosen up until this point not to add them. The fast travel system is good enough as long as you're sort of actively doing the right thing to generate the Azoth. Because as you can see, in my scenario, I've not generated any Azoth for long enough that I now can no longer fast travel. Wait a week, people start bitching about no flying? Maybe. Is this a cave? What's in this cave? Hey! Silver! A mount that gets tired is a good idea, even if even think WoW needs mounts that run out of energy. An energy bar system's not a terrible idea for mounts, yeah. Because it means that, you know, you can periodically take advantage of them, but not all the time. What do you think would happen if they made flight points and flying mounts in WoW just like cost a resource to what if your flying mounts needed anima to fly? How much do you think people would cry? The problem is that Blizzard's biggest problem is that they've added quality of life things to the game. It's much easier to choose to not add something than it is to add it and then take it away because you realise it was OP. Which is, to this very day, is Blizzard's problem with flying. That the second they tried to take flying away from us, the community uproar was just outrageous. So they had to backpedal on that very quickly. Or, well, they didn't even do it very quickly, but they backpedaled eventually. Sounds like the fun detected system Blizzard would implement. Yeah. But this is the problem, right? Because you've got the life luxury of having flying and it being unlimited and whatever. This is why Blizzard then can't really do much about it. Oh, this is the Silkweed. This is the hemp version 2.0 that we can't pick up. That's annoying. And this is why Band-Aid fixes, I think, are really bad for the game. We see way too many Band-Aid fixes go into the game. And what actually often happens with Band-Aid fixes is they don't fix the problem. They just move the problem somewhere else. Whereas if they actually, you know, fix the actual problem to begin with... It sounds like I'm bashing on WoW a lot in the last few days since playing this. I'd want to try and reiterate that I'm not bashing on WoW. I'm just sort of trying to highlight some of the key differences and areas of improvement that Blizzard could, you know, utilize. That it's very apparent that, like I mentioned, there's this kind of air of arrogance about Blizzard when it comes to World of Warcraft. Of that they think that they think that they know what the best solution is every time. And this also annoys people when it comes to community feedback, that it's they will ask for community feedback and then blatantly ignore it. It's like, well, you did ask for the feedback. Every time there's a beta or a PTR, you tell people to, you know, provide feedback, and then you argue against the feedback. And it's like, well, pointing out issues that everybody can see isn't bashing. Well, yeah, I suppose. I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't come across in a too negative of a light. This is often the problem with with live streaming rather than creating, you know, a constructive video about something. That if I'm live streaming and I talk about something of this nature, it tends to come across quite raw, almost unfiltered. Not to say that things should be filtered, but sometimes it takes you 2 or 3 times to say something or process something before you actually truly work out how you feel about it. I was not paying attention and ended up carrying way too much stuff again. Of course I did. It's control to split it, isn't it? Right, let's quickly run back to town. I should have paid way more attention to that. Now I'm miles away from the town. Accidentally. Oops. I've reported you to the WoW overlords. They are deleting your gold as we speak. Nobody can take away my millions. Apart from me. Interestingly, actually, looking at my performance metrics in Task Manager, I seem to be CPU bottlenecked more than I am graphic GPU bottlenecked, which was not expected. Why the hell is my CPU running at 100% optimization? Damn. Right, stone into stone blocks, like such. 77 to 80, beautiful. Stone blocks into stone brick, times lots. 80 to 83, beautiful. That's progress. With plenty of sandpaper still to burn through. Why not make a couple of these just because we can? Although at this point it feels nearly pointless. The amount of experience we gain from those compared to playing about with stones. Were we picking up anything else? What are our materials looking like? We can go drop off our leather at some point. No, we'll leave that for now. Right, put all of that in there, that in there, that in there, and... Oh, we didn't smelt our silver. Let's smelt the silver. Reduce its weight. No WoW 10.0 beta for you. I do hope I get relatively quick and seamless access to the beta this time. One is hoping. So maybe I should say some nice things about Blizzard occasionally, so they feel like giving me a beta key for the next content. Sure, that's not exactly how it works, but I'm sure it's not far off at the same time. Right, stones. Gimme rocks. It's only in 5 years, so more than enough time to get yourself forgiveness. Hey, well, let's hope that 10.0 comes out a bit sooner than that. Accidentally hit the tree. Honest mistake. It's gonna feel a bit weird if we get to the point where we can smelt and process stones that we can't actually mine up yet. It's gonna feel really odd, but I'll take it. Still got some way. We're still only 89 for mining, although mining seems to level up a fair bit faster than logging did. Logging was a real slog. Or it felt like a real slog. Hopefully logging was the hard one, and we've kind of done the hard work on that. I'd love that. These wolves, actually, we should be killing these wolves, considering they're considered medium-sized things. They're good for skinning progress as well. $62. Ooh, a black boar. This is also another good one for skinning. Rawhide and pork. Where was that little cave where the silver was? It's down here, wasn't it? Or have we passed it already? Around this area somewhere, there was that cave with the silver in it. I don't think we went down this far. Oh, piggy, relax. Outrageous behaviour. Be that desperate to get pew-pewed. A boar blood? Is that a crafting mod? What does it do? Strength and focus on an item. That's totally useless then. What a weird combination. Strength and focus. I might be wrong on that, but it sounds like an odd combination. Oh, here we go. Let's go see if the silver's respawned again. It has. And some iron. Oh no, the iron's respawned. Somebody's had my silver. Somebody's thieved it. Guess it's only fair. Share the wealth. See, we're already level 90 for mining. Or, well, it's damned as close too. I seem to remember when we were... maybe it's because... maybe logging has got a seriously higher XP requirement because, you know, trees are just everywhere. I guess it's balanced so that, you know, you have to whack away at millions of trees as opposed to rocks that are a little bit more spread out. Especially if you go, you know, hunting for actual ore nodes rather than just whacking boulders. Getting there. Bags are getting nicely stocked. Run out of stones though. I'm almost back at town. It's not good news. The real downside is that we've not been harvesting anything during this time. This is why I feel that harvesting leveling is going to be the meta eventually. Because I don't think anybody is going to focus heavily enough on this to get it up where it needs to be. We only need it to be 100 to gather silkweed, but my oh my, it's slowed to level. Because there's just not many things to pick up. And maybe I've not been in the right places. Maybe I've not been looking. But at least in beginner zones, there seems to be very little stuff to pick up. And that might mean that people end up just glossing over it. And they out-level it. Or they end up in zones higher than what their profession allows them to pick stuff up in. One of the reasons I started focusing on my gathering professions was based on the fact that I was out questing and I was running past stuff I couldn't pick up. Already at like level 24, I was frequently not being able to pick something up because I didn't have the skill for it. Which in a game where, you know, you have access to all of the skills felt a bit odd. Felt like we should probably have, you know, fixed that problem. So hence, we are whacking away at stuff. Bags are nearly full though. Not too many stones before we start filling up now. Was a big one. A big one. Right, we're so close to town, it feels silly to go anywhere else. Let's just whack a few trees that are near. Fill up the rest of our bags before we head back to town. Some baby trees here, maybe. Keep it even. Oh, this tree's taking forever. There we go. Bam. Oh, hang on. 240 plus. We should chill now, otherwise we'll go over the limit. 246. Yeah, we'll call it there. Let's head back. Let's get this processed. I might have to go get some food then. I'm getting pretty hungry. Now to try and remember where everything is. We've got the... Oh, we can do some skinning. No, it's not skinning. Christ, you know what I mean. Turn the rawhide into something else. Into coarse leather. Now we can turn our coarse leather into... See, it's now these resources that we're getting to struggle with. 62. This is another one. We need 100 in this as well at some point. We'll have to get some skinning on the go at some point. Can't do everything in one go though. Loom. Have we got any fibers? We've got a few. It's actually this that we really want to be making. Now we're about done. What's the well do? Pull well? Does this just give us water? Huh, it does. Oh, we need 250 water for a quest. That'll be why. That's the forge. We're not forging weapons and stuff yet. This is, here we go. It's the stone dude. Stone blocks. Let's get those made. 83 to 85. That's not bad. Will this get us up to 53 of these? Must put us somewhere close to 90, right? Surely. 88. Okay. We are getting there. We are getting there. Yeah, 100 will give us the ability to make lodestone bricks, but we can't actually mine up lodestone until mining, what was it, 105, I think? Okay. Did we pick up any ores? I think we picked up a bit of iron. A bit of iron. Somebody stole our silver. So we didn't get to make any of that. Let's put that in there, that in there, that in there. Oh, we didn't do our wood. Let's go chop our woods into better woods. But, yeah. Game does actually look pretty good. Not sure if I want another game to play at the moment. Well, yeah, I'm only playing this because I've got not a huge interest in playing heavily World of Warcraft at the moment. But it's for sure true to say that you're if you're busy doing other things, I'd understand. Right, let's put all of this in storage for now. I'm going to have to go get me some food. There we go. Right. We're going to leave it there for today, boys and girls. I know we didn't do the WoW Economy subreddit report on stream today, but I have pre-recorded that. It's ready and waiting on YouTube. As I finish the stream, I will flick the go button on that. I think it... I should probably check that it did upload and didn't have any problems. Let me have a look. So the WoW Economy subreddit should be live on the YouTube momentarily. Yes, episode 197. That's ready to rock and roll. I tell you what, let's just make that public now. Go, go, gadget, go. So, Warcraft Economy 197 is now live on YouTube. I'm going to go get me some food. I'm going to try my absolute utmost to not get logged out and sit in a queue for this. But I wish you well for today. We'll be back again tomorrow, depending on our, login boss luck with the New World. I said we'd give New World a week. We started on Wednesday last week, so technically we'll focus on New World again tomorrow. But it'll be time to spend some time in the PTR before too long for WoW. These ore drop rate changes, these prospecting rate changes. I need to... Blizzard said, 20% buff, 10% buff on some of these things. We need to actually do some testing and see if that's how it plays out in reality. So we'll do some PTR testing at some point this week as well. So if you're not already, hit that follow button. We're live same time every day. But if you wish to keep up with what's going on, either in New World or in World of Warcraft goal making, make sure you check out the YouTube channel. But I'll leave you there for today, boys and girls. Have a good one. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.